Hi, good evening everybody. In this video, we're going to go back in time to yesterday, and we're going to take a little look at what Jack had to say after the game. Coming up. You know, right when you think the drama's over with this guy, jeez. And it was funny because I peeked in on the video while it was going nuts with views, and I was just checking the comments to make sure there was no trolls throwing comments, and I was busy doing something anyway on the computer. And I noticed one of you had posted, have I seen his post-game comment? And then I noticed a few of you talking about him. It's like, oh my God, what have I missed, you know? So I went in, I checked it, and I was like, you know, it's so unnecessary to... This is one of the things I'm going to say, though, about Jack Eichel while he was our captain. I couldn't stand him in post games, guys. I couldn't stand him. It's one of those reasons I wanted him gone. I found he just really did not represent the team because it was always about self with him. And this was a big issue for me back then when most Sabres fans just thought he was God at the time. Not me. No, I wanted him gone. I really did. I didn't care so much when the rumors would start. I'd almost get my hopes up we're going to move this guy and get something finally for him, because really it got to the point it became unbearable to watch him in interviews, you know? And it was a friend of mine that pointed this out to me years ago. He said, Wayne, the guy's not a leader. I said, what are you talking about? And he goes, haven't you ever watched him in interviews? I said, yeah. And then I started watching his demeanor closer, and my buddy Abe was right. He said, he goes, keep an eye, watch it. Just watch how he acts with the media. The guy has no people skills. He doesn't know how to handle pressure, Wayne. The guy's a loser. This is what he would tell me years ago. So let's take a look at what he said. I'm going to break it down a bit, my opinion on it. And really, I don't really care. I just don't care, you know, but it makes for a good video, and we're in the Jack mode right now, and that might be the last time we talk about Jack for quite a while in a video. So let's take a look at it, unless he re-injures that neck and proves our doctor's right, then we'll talk. But let's take a look at it, all right? We'll break it down, and I'm going to give you my thinking behind each comment here. So let me just get this first clip open. Okay, here we go. Okay. After the game, Eichel was asked about his chilly reception from the fans, and he fired back with some shots of his own. I'm pretty happy it's over. Just move on. It was about the loudest I've heard this place ever. Really. It only took 7 years and me leaving for them to get into the game. It makes no sense. It just makes no sense. It's a real cheap attempt at firing back at the fans that were booing him. Okay, I'm going to show you what I live by. Okay, and then we're going to go to his next comment, but here's what I live by, guys. And this is what I believe. When I read something like this, when I see him say it and the words come out of his mouth and he formulates these words out of his mouth, this is what I think and this is what I see. Okay, this clip. Selfishness, self-centeredness, that we think is the root of our troubles. Driven by 100 forms of fear, self-delusion, self-seeking, and self-pity, we step on the toes of our fellows and they retaliate. Sometimes they hurt us, seemingly without provocation, but we invariably find that at some time in the past, we have made decisions based on self, which later place us in a position to be hurt. And those are words I live by, my friends. That is page 62, second paragraph of Alcoholics Anonymous. I thought I'd throw that out there because this is what my brain told me the minute I seen it. How selfish and self-centered this guy really is. He in the pregame, handled himself pretty good, actually. He did pretty good. But I knew he'd put his foot in his mouth if they caught him after a loss, you know? And really, to take a shot at the fans that paid you $10 million a year, really, like, wow, you know? Guys, if you paid me $10 million a year, I'd be kissing your feet, all right? There you go. Come on. All right, let's look at the other clip. Here we go. It was a nice tribute, and there was plenty of people who were supporting me, and there were There was plenty of people who were booing me. They must just be booing me because they wish I was still here. I don't know. It's all about self, you see. This guy's all about self. And this was what killed me with Jack Eichel as our captain. He was too self-centered. And that, for me, is a danger. That's a red flag for a fan like me that had to work on those issues personally myself to get sober. I spot stuff like that really quick, guys. And, when he's talking about how we wish he was still there, well, I'm going to show you another clip, and these are words I live by also. Here we go. In the middle of every difficulty lies opportunity, Albert Einstein. And we all know Albert Einstein had to leave Nazi Germany because he was Jewish and he had to get the hell out of there at the time, right? So, look, when it comes down to selfish, self-centered behavior, to be honest, guys, in a nutshell, I just don't care. I just see it as selfish, self-centered behavior. It's like he just really reminded me of like a baby with a pacifier after the game. Really, this is the vision I had. I honestly looked at it that way. I don't give a damn what Jack Eichel says because he's not part of the solution anymore here. He was part of the problem and we moved him because he just became bigger than the organization. When you're starting to fire coaches over what players want, okay? There's a problem, and it's not going to get resolved till that player's gone. I don't care if it's Jack Eichel, I don't care if it's Bobby Orr, really. And Bobby Orr wasn't like that. I'm just throwing like the biggest name out there I can of a hockey name. And if you're going to put winners, champions, guys that were just great hockey players, never did those things. They didn't. Not the great ones, no. Not the real elite great ones. They just don't do it. The ones that won cups and their legacies cemented forever. You look at Crosby, I mean, he went and he confronted the team. He didn't confront ownership about wanting another coach. He confronted the veterans his first year as a rookie, telling him he can't handle losing like this and he's not going to deal with it. I'm sure he wanted to kill him. But, you know what I mean? When it comes to something like this, if I was involved in management in Vegas, I'd ask him, I say, what the hell are you doing? This is what I would say to Jack. I'd say, what are you doing? You don't go after everything you said and then flip the cards the other way. It just makes it look like you're a liar, that you're not telling the truth, that you're fake. Don't do that. If it got to him so bad, and you could see how it gets to him. When they interview him, you can see it's worse than ever with this guy. Look, he can say what he wants. Doesn't really matter, guys. I didn't really get offended. If anything, I giggled when I seen it. I really did. And I'm sure some of the Sabres did. If anything, that made the Sabres feel better, hearing that in the interview. It's like, oh, God, that takes some pressure off our backs. Let him have it again if he wants to put more pressure on his back. Like, you never, ever, ever take a shot at the fans, ever. They pay your salary. No, you don't take shots at the fans. You don't do that. Not if you're a player. If you're a professional athlete, you're obligated to sign autographs. You're obligated to spend time with the community. People say, well, he helped out the community. He's supposed to. What do people not understand? Why did no former Sabres ever help out the community? Come on. You're supposed to. You're a millionaire now for playing hockey. You're a millionaire, for Christ's sakes. And what, I'm going to praise somebody that we're giving $10 million a year to do nothing every year? Because what? Because he goes and he sends some flowers to nurses and gets involved in kids' cancer? No, you're supposed to do that. And the truth is, you're supposed to keep your mouth shut when you do it. And you're not supposed to broadcast it like he does. No, you should be quiet about it. That's the proper way to do that, guys, okay? It's the proper way. You don't go and look for recognition when you're doing God's work. You're supposed to do that, but you're supposed to be humble about it. He's not. It's really that simple, guys, in this guy's books. Selfish, self-centered, inconsiderate, damn good hockey player. But that's the man I see. That's just what I see. After what I heard last night, come on. Can't talk your way out of this one. I mean, this, that was uncalled for. You don't take cheap shots at the fans. You just don't. You want to take cheap shots, you take it at the management. Have the guts. But don't take it out on the fans because you're pissed off at the Pagulas, please. Before the game starts, he's talking all good about the Pagulas and everything. Give me a break. How fake can you get? Really, how fake can you get, Jack? Honestly. Have the guts, be a man, say, look, I'm pissed off at ownership, I'm glad I got the hell out of there, I'm going to miss the fans, I'm going to miss my friends. Say the right things. Don't pout like a little child just because the fans who paid your salary for years decided to let you hear it. They felt betrayed. And they have a right to. They're fans, they're allowed. That's our right as fans, as paying fans that go to games and buy these jerseys and do all those things. We're allowed to have our opinions, we are, but we're also allowed to have freedom of speech. That's what I seen yesterday. That's it, guys. I'm out. I'm done talking about Jack. I got some more videos to make. See you in those.